Buenos dias, Gunners Collective TV. Back at it, you already know. Like a torta with the gel habit. Bye, bye. Ugly. Let's get to the intro. Welcome back to Gunners Collective TV. And if you haven't already hit that like and subscribe button, make sure you go ahead and do that. Put your notification bell on all so that way you're directing the direction of the dope content that the gun stays kicking. And I appreciate the support, man. Thank you. I'm very humbled. So, in one corner, we have Sincity Manny, the Vegas shooter, who unalived two people, a husband and wife, in the middle of Las Vegas, right on the strip in front of everybody with no remorse, intentionally and cruel. And on the other side, we have a straight baby killer. Okay, we have Haro, who at this point has not self-admitted to doing this heinous crime to his son, no matter what reports say. But he is at the same time, at this point, looking like a serial killer. Okay, there's been plenty of mysterious circumstances, deaths surrounding him, as well as terrible, horrible assaults on children, right? His own, okay? Two killers with ties that bind, and I'm going to explain it to you. Sincity Manny, had the biggest story of the year. A YouTuber gone brazy, on Haro, gone crazy, right? We had a YouTuber who felt that he was bullied into submission. How did he submit? He submitted by committing one of the most heinous acts of 2025. He picked up a firearm, he hunted this man and woman down, and he opened fire on them immediately as soon as words were exchanged. We pretty much know what's going on. The man is now looking at the death penalty. The man is sitting down right there in the Las Vegas County Jail, and he is hurting. He is segregated from everyone in high power, confined to his room in protective custody. It's all bad for Manuel Ruiz, Sincity Manny wise, right? Now at the same time, we have another story that blew up and took over, okay? And this story, Stevie Wonder seen through the bullshit. Ray Charles could have wrote this song as soon as he seen it, and he didn't even have to see it. When Rebecca Haro and Jake Haro decided, like two bofos, two dumbasses, right? They decided to go in front of cameras and allege that their son was missing. It didn't take fucking Inspector Gadget, Magnum PI, or MacGyver to put this one together. We all figured out social media was powerful. Social media had a voice. Social media let everyone know. These motherfuckers were lying, right? Come to find out, after proper investigation, and a big shout out to that vato on the tira who's out there with cancer handling his business, right? On the scene, making moves. That vato figured it all out himself, to be honest with you. His assistance to law enforcement, his assistance to his community and to the raza and to everyone, period, is phenomenal. You got to give that man his props, especially sick like he is. That vato's out there having heat strokes and all kinds of things. He's a real one. And there's a lot of people alleging, oh, he's doing too much, or he's snitching, or he's doing that. Look, man, he was trying to help a kid get justice. That's it. If he had to put people on the spot, he was willing to put people on the spot. Is that snitching or telling? Well, I guess in the gang life and in the street life, it could be considered something. But in my life, the life of a civilian, the life of many others, the life of a missing, abused child, that's a hero, Holmes. Straight up, real life. So you have two stories, and this story, this Haro story, this family, this demented family, and it's starting to look like a horror house and a demented family because the woman's just as guilty as the man, and we're going to explain all that. But these are the two stories that dominated social media in the last 6 months. These are the two biggest stories. Now, unfortunately and upsetting, these two stories have a lot of ties. And one of the main ties is the fact that both of these individuals that did this are raza. I hate to say it, but it's the facts. It's the truth, right? Hey, they set the brown man back 900 years. Both of these individuals are what give ammunition and fuel to this fire that's being, this rhetoric that's being spit, that the raza are just here to do bad things or that they're bad people. They make the hardworking the righteous, the real raza look bad. But you can't take two bad apples and spoil the whole damn bunch. Throw those fucking oranges back and keep pushing. Keep selling bolsas. That's it. That's just the facts. Now, Manny is facing the death penalty, and I've been asked a lot of questions. Will Jake Haro face the death penalty? I got a video coming on later on that's going to really detail the whole Jake Haro situation, like extensively. But I'll say this. I believe if anyone needed to face any type of penalties, it would be Jake. Now, that don't get it mixed up. You know, all you supporters of Finney and his wife Bubbly, don't get it mixed up and think that, hey, I'm trying to be lenient towards Manny because I play the motherfucking, I'm at the end of the road like Boys to Men, and I'm on that straight line. I'm in my own path, right? I don't play either side. I speak facts and realisms. No added preservatives on my channel. I'll say this about Manny. You take lives, your life could be taken. That's the rule of the land. That's the laws. You have to go with the law, okay? Do I believe that Manny is going to get the death penalty? Absolutely not. And I could give you a number of reasons, but the main reason is it wasn't like it was cruel and intentional and just vicious. It was a violent act. There was reasoning behind it in Manny's head. Okay, there's never no reason to go kill two people. You could have handled it with your fist. You could have sued them if they were fucking with your livelihood. You could have took him to court. He had many options, and he chose the latter. He chose the last option, which was murder. Okay, and in doing so, now he must suffer the consequences of the bed that he made. He's gonna lay all up in it. Cover yourself up and make sure you're tucked in warm because there might be a needle in your future. But I don't believe that they're going to kill him. I believe he's going to go and take a plea, and that'll be that. But it was a story that dominated social media, and the reason being that it was a YouTuber who tracked down another YouTuber who made it a point to kill this other guy who he felt was bullying and harassing him. Now, there's a lot of people going back and forth. I got people that are saying, good, they deserved it for talking shit. This man stood on his 10. He said what he was going to do, and he did it. In the gang life, in the criminal life, that sounds cool. That dude is going to get a big old hug and a pat on his back. The embracement's going to be real. But as far as citizens and civilians, anytime a man fucking opens up fire in front of children and women and innocent people and endangers the lives of hundreds of people all over some words, well, bro, you are weak-minded and a coward. So that's a cowardice act and a weak-minded act. Let me explain to you what cowardice act means. Anytime you do something when you have the upper hand, or you're not willing to fight or throw them bows or do whatever the hell you got to do, and it goes all the way to murder, well, that's a cowardice act. If that dude was a gang member, if Finney was an actual gang member posing a threat to your life on some gang shit, well, on gang, do whatever you feel you got to do. But when a man just simply said that your old lady had a fat chin, which she did, no disrespect to Julie, but the chin was a little bit out there, right? That doesn't mean you have to go kill him. That means you could have talked about his old lady's bug eyes or something. You could have did whatever you had to do. You could have went back and forth and back like you guys did, but it never had to come to what it came to. But unfortunately, it did. And so now Manny's life will play out in prison, in the system, in the courts. He has to wait a whole year. Sitting down in the county jail for a year is hectic. It's crazy. It's phenomenal, and it sucks. Anyone who's had to sit down for longer than 6 months in the county jail will tell you they're going to starve that motherfucker into submission. That dude right there, especially now that his wife said we're two different people and she's distanced herself basically from him. That vato ain't got no canteen. That vato ain't got no protein. Well, he might get plenty of protein in there, but he ain't got no canteen, and he's going to struggle all the way into next year until he eventually takes a deal or this plays out in court. And believe me, there's many people that know this story that were involved. You know, everyone that was pumping this shit up between Finney and Manny will probably be questioned or called to the stand, and they will have to sit there and eventually, man, speak the truths. Manny's in trouble. Death penalty, should he have gotten that? Well, he killed two people, and I think the one that holds him the most, not is Finney. Because like I said, Finney was off camera. He could have pulled something or alleged to look like he was pulling something, and Manny felt some type of way, even though no firearms were found. I don't want all you haters to get, oh, there was no firearms found. What? Shut the fuck up. Listen, I know there wasn't. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I'm just tired of hearing it. People thinking I'm picking Manny's side. I'm not. I'm just telling you guys how I feel it's going to go down. Can't take Finney's side. He's gone. Okay? I'm not going to take the side of someone that was harassing people for money or just to do it. I'm not going to do that. So in this case, yeah, I feel bad. I feel bad for his children. I feel bad for his family and for his supporters that loved him and loved the way he talked bad about other people. I get it. But I'm not going to take that side. I'm definitely not going to take Manny's side, a fucking coward, stupid ass that went and shot someone for nothing, right? For words. I'm not going to do that either. But I am going to tell you the way it's going to go down because that's what I do. He's not going to fucking get the death penalty. He's going to fight this case until he can't fight it no more, and he's going to end up with 2 life sentences. But the catalyst that holds him and binds him to that, the reason why they even looked at the death penalty was because of the murder of Bubbly, which, man, I feel so bad for Bubbly. You know, an innocent woman that, even though that was her husband that said it, she shouldn't have been killed at all. I could see the Finney situation. I could see it. I could see it happening, right? People lose their cool, and it happens. 2 grown men handling their business the way they said they were going to, right? But Bubbly didn't deserve that. And because she turned around and he shot her in the back of the head and all that, voila, there you go, death penalty time. Now, as far as Jake Haro goes, this is a disgusting monster. I had a talk with a family member, and it's crazy because I had to talk with the family member, and then my homegirl said the same thing last night. Trip out on this. My family member is looking into the story, and the story's blowing up. A lot more people are getting interested. It's becoming national news. These 2 parents who alleged this false kidnapping, and then come to find out there's blood in the house, and there's people out there, and it's getting real intense and in HD and 3D, and everyone wants to be right there in the mix, right? And at the same time, my family member said the same thing my homegirl said. They said, this guy's at the point of serial killer now. There was his brother who overdosed in his household, and him and his wife, Rebecca, were actually questioned in it. Now, of course, they're going to be questioned. It happened in their homes, so they're going to be talked to. But there was actually thoughts by the detectives of foul play. 1. 2, this guy, Jake Haro, is arrested for the most violent and vicious abuse on a baby, his own daughter, to which she will never recover. She will never go to prom. She will never not be unassisted in life. It's horrible. It brings tears to your eyes. It's fucking horrible. The dude's a horrible man for that. And it's not like he's innocent of that. He tried to blame his old lady. He tried to blame his baby mama on it, right? There was her and him end up catching charges on it. And look, this is the way I feel. If a woman is present when the shit happens and she allows it to happen and covers it for him, you're guilty, bitch. That's just me. That's how I feel, right? So with that being said, that's the type of person Jake Haro is. Self-admitted, got 72 months, got joint suspension, got probation, parole, all whatever he got out with a few little courses to take in parenting classes. I'll tell you guys right now, he is not a parent. He is not a man. That is a monster. Anyone who preys on children, you know, babies, tiny babies, defenseless. Wow. That guy is a waste of our money. Right now, he's sitting in the county jail and he's a waste of our fucking money. He just woke up and ate 2 hard-boiled eggs, a piece of bread with some peanut butter, and maybe an apple. I want my fucking apple back, right? My money is paid for that guy to eat. I don't like it. Or his fat ass old lady. I'm just being real. You guys don't like the way I talk? Go tune in with another channel that's going to give them props, because I'm not. I'm hoping they hit them with props. Look, I'm hoping that they bury Rebecca Haro next to where Selena is buried. I hope they put a fucking hole as big as a butthole on the chest of fucking Jake Haro. I don't care. If these people did this, which pretty much is going down that way, they deserve that. Now, it's the biggest, now becoming the biggest story in the world, one of them. It has overtaken the Sincity Manny Vegas case. These are the ties that bind. 2 individuals, 2 men that could have made a better choice. 2 men that had decisions to make. 2 men that failed not only their families, themselves, the community, society, the raza. They failed everybody. 2 miserable failures in life. Look, Sincity Manny had a family, a beautiful family, regardless of what people may think or talk shit, because there's still people talking shit about his children and his wife. It's amazing. Motherfuckers are relentless, right? Relentless. Yes, he killed 2 people that you loved, but man, leave his family out of it, right? But they'll talk about him continuously, right? This is a man who had a family, a man who had his YouTube channel. He had what he wanted in life, his Camaro or Corvette or whatever the fuck it was. It was a Camaro, his home, his wife going to Walmart, you know, cooking eggs for him. He had what he wanted in life, or at least what he needed. And he threw all that away for a fucking snort of coca, Charlie, right? He threw it all away for pride. He threw it all away for clout. He threw it all away because he was a man. A man knows when to handle things and when not to handle things. And he wasn't that type of man. He was a man that cared more about what people think about him and what people are saying rather than everything else that he had. And in doing so, he threw it all away and now faces life and death in prison. And his old lady will get tossed by the neighbor. His kids will grow up without their father unless it's behind plexiglass. All this he sacrificed because a man said his old lady had a fat chin. Think about it, right? Jake Haro, this is a monster that has a disease. He is a monster that it's inconceivable what he thinks. Any man that would shake babies or do things like this got a problem. The problem is he's alive. That's the fucking problem, okay? The beating of his wife, the domestic issues, for her to put up with that. I don't know how many times I've seen women that will put up with that continuously time and time again and protect the man, and they love the man and they can't live without the man when the thing they need to do is get away from the man, run away from the man. You know, this leads me to believe that Rebecca Haro, she's just as guilty for covering up for him. And I'm going to tell you the one thing that'll get her. I'll explain that in my second video, right? But there's something that stood out to me that's going to get her, just like that video of Manny. Remember where he's like, hey, I'm looking for you, homie. If I catch you, you're in my city, all that. Remember the video he made hunting? That's what's going to hold him. See, if he didn't have that video, he could have just said, hey, I'm walking down the street. I run into this guy. It looks like he was going to pull something. Tas. We've been having beef back and forth. He wouldn't probably shooting bubbly is what's going to hold him, but he would have still had better action, more action. But because of the tapes of him searching and the background and all this, he fucked up. Well, there's an incident that took place for Rebecca Haro that messes up for her, right? But we're talking about Jake right now. The ties that bind these two guys together. Not only are they the biggest stories in 2025, not only are they two brown men, unfortunately, right? Not only are they two stupid-ass individuals, but the thing about Jake Haro worse is it involves children. Now, will he be facing the death penalty? If convicted, if they find the baby, then yes, quite possibly, and I believe he deserves it. I'm all for it. You got my vote, right? And not even so much for what he did to baby Emmanuel, you know, because that's still unfolding. That's an ongoing investigation. We're going to find out. There might be a cold twist. The grandma might have did it. His brother might have came back. You know, he's going to blame a lot of people. We're going to figure that out. When it comes to his daughter, for that right there, kill him. And I'm not saying to kill him. I'm just saying that's from a movie. What movie is that? Hit a one and put what you know, what movie that's from. We'll see who knows. I'm just saying these two individuals have dominated social media and they're both killers. One did it for pride and everything. The other one did it for nothing. There's never an acceptable reason to shake a baby, pick up a baby, throw a baby, do anything to a baby, right? And if there's blood all over that home, wow, I can only imagine. My heart goes out to baby Emmanuel. I see parents, they're just disgusting, man. They don't know how to deal with children. Look, if you don't know how to deal with your kid, I'm going to plead to you guys, the people that are out there that are stressing or struggling, maybe they have a child that's not, born a little bit different, autism, whatever. If you can't deal with it, go drop your baby off at a family member's house. If they're like, nah, I don't want your kid. I don't want it either. Just walk away. If you can't do it, you can't do it. Hey, we don't understand, but I understand. Do you understand? You like how I shot that? Jake Haro needs to suffer, and suffer he will. Now, those that are asking where he's at, I'll tell you where he's at. Where he was at yesterday was helping the detectives find the baby. Everyone's like, oh, he admitted it. He admitted it. Oh, no. I talked to someone, and he didn't admit nada. In fact, he's doing something else. You got to tap in later. So there is ties to these two men now, okay? One is facing the death penalty. The other is probably going to face the death penalty too, and we haven't even got to Rebecca's fat ass. She's in there with two black eyes. Isn't it a trip how you see her mugshot? She has another black eye. So you're telling me that meanwhile, while all this shit's going on, they got into another fight and he gave her another black eye? This Vato made sure she stood black-eyed up. She's a black eye pea. He made sure about that. Anyways, with that being said, man, it's crazy, the Manny situation. What's going on with him? He's going to sit down for a year until we find out. What's going to happen with Jake Haro? Well, he's now being housed in a separate facility. He was always going to be separated. We're talking about a female and a male, a husband and wife. They're going to separate him. They're crime partners, right? But he's being housed in a correctional facility basically because he's going to he has other things going on with his criminal cases, right? I don't know if it's a felony probation violation or whatever he's got going on, but they're housing him in a lightweight correctional facility. And so we're going to see how that plays out. Maybe that's a facility for violators. I don't know exactly how they're doing that. He's definitely not in prison. He didn't go to Lancaster or Donovan or fucking Salinas Valley or High Desert. He didn't do none of that yet, right? But that's in his future, most definitely. Whether he's able to, we'll get into the second video later. Make sure you guys tap in. With that being said, man, unfortunately, these two brown men have dominated social media in their crimes, and I hope they both suffer the fates that they deserve. Thumbs up or thumbs down. Heavy's going to be the head that wears the crown. I'm going to continue to strive, struggle for what I truly believe in, and that's the betterment of all people. I got a video later on that's going to blow your mind about this Haro situation. Make sure you guys watch it. It's going to trip you out. Plus, make sure you tap in with the collective clips because we got some supers going on today. It's going to get super duper. The gun.